Good afternoon. My name is Dan Scripps, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission, and I call this meeting of the Commission to order on August 20th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
Present.
Commissioner Talberg.
Present.
Commissioner Phillips.
Present.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We are holding this meeting using Microsoft Live Event. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. During this meeting, we will call out participant names before speaking to support those listening only by phone or using the relay service. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose connection, the Commission will be in recess. We will attempt to re-establish a connection, but if we are unable to do so within 30 minutes, we will adjourn. Decisions made prior to the disconnection will be binding. Other business will be handled at a future meeting. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. If you have intermittent internet service, you should consider listening to the meeting via telephone, not the computer. So if there is an interruption, you can avoid missing part of the meeting. Another option is to watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted, and then listen to the audio from your phone. Please keep in mind the video feed has a slight delay, while the telephone line is in real time. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comments should be limited to one per person and can be made verbally by calling in or in writing via the live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating via Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting, and we will have those queued up to read. The Q&A function should be used to request technical assistance or to submit public comments directed to the Commission. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must call into the meeting by phone. To minimize disruptions, attendees will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. The first order for business is approval of the amended agenda for today's meeting. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Good afternoon, Chairman. I move for the approval of the amended agenda for today's Commission meeting.
Commissioner Talberg.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve today's amended agenda. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The amended agenda is approved. The next item of business on the amended agenda is approval of the minutes from the July 23rd, 2020 Commission meeting. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the minutes from the July 23rd, 2020 Commission meeting.
I recognize Commissioner Talberg.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the July 23rd, 2020 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The Commission meeting minutes of July 23rd, 2020 are approved. The next item of business on the amended agenda is the approval of the orders on the consent agenda. Today, the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Alyssa Day, and I recognize Ms. Day.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 2 communications matters, 4 electric matters, and 2 gas matters. The proposed orders and minute action for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chairman. I move for the approval of the orders and the minute action on the consent agenda.
Commissioner Talberg.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute action on the consent agenda. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The orders and minute action on the consent agenda are approved. Back to you, Ms. Day.
Item 4A1 is case number U20732, which involves repromulgation of rules governing the obligations of providers of basic local exchange service that cease to provide the service. The order before you approves the rules for submission to the Michigan Office of Administrative Hearings and Rules and the Legislative Service Bureau for formal approval.
I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chairman. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20732.
Commissioner Talberg.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Chairman, I have brief comments. I would like to recognize and thank our staff within the MPSC's Telecommunications Division for their work in proposing the repromulgation of rules governing the notice obligations providers of basic local exchange phone service have when seeking to discontinue such service in their territory. Though the proposed changes are minor, they reflect an ongoing commitment by our staff and by the Commission to ensuring that individuals and communities are not left behind as telecommunications services throughout the state continue to evolve. So I once again thank our Telecommunications Division staff for their continued work and due diligence in this area. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Any other discussion? With that, we will move to a roll call vote. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20732 is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4A2 is case number U20767, which involves an application filed by Foley Inc., DBA 186 Networks, for a temporary and permanent license to provide local exchange service throughout the state of Michigan. The order before you grants the permanent license.
I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Chairman, I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20767.
Commissioner Talberg.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20767 is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4B1 is case number U20147, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion for certain regulated electric utilities to file their distribution, investment, and maintenance plans, and for other related uncontested matters. Staff member Pat Hudson will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This order focuses on transparent and long-term electric distribution planning of Consumers Energy, DTE Electric, and Indiana Michigan Power Company. The order addresses the Commission's response to an April 1, 2020 staff report that summarized the 2019 My Power Grid Electric Distribution Planning Work Group stakeholder process and provides guidance in the next round of distribution plans for these companies. The staff report provided recommendations for the Commission to consider. And just a small apology because of my scroll. The staff report provided recommendations for the Commission to consider in the next round of distribution investment and maintenance plans filed by the utilities. Several key points are addressed in the order before you. First category is called Distribution Planning Objectives, Core Functionality of the Grid, and the Role of Vision with Grid Planning. In a 2017 order in both Consumers Energy and DTE dockets, the Commission stated the following objectives for distribution planning. There are four. The first one being safety, the second one reliability and resiliency, and the third cost-effectiveness and affordability, and then the fourth, accessibility. The order before you reiterates the Commission's previously stated four distribution planning objectives in this order and provides additional clarifications. The second category is definitions. The Commission adopts the staff recommended definitions for distributed energy resource, hosting capacity analysis, non-wire alternatives, and locational value assessment, noting the staff recommended distributed energy resource definition is in line with IEEE 1547-2018 and matches the Commission's proposed interconnection rules. The next category, it's called hosting capacity analysis. The order supports staff recommended phased implementation approach, leveraging and making publicly accessible existing information and building on this information over time as more detailed data is leveraged through existing technology. The order supports the time frame outlined by staff with an initial base level zonal go, no-go map, published and refined with updated analysis over a 2-year period, with DTE Electric and Consumers Energy providing detailed updates in their distribution plans filed in 2021. The next category, non-wire alternatives. The order states that the major utility investments should be examined for prudency through an open process that includes an evaluation of alternatives, whether they are wires or non-wires in nature or a combination thereof. Although short-term non-wire alternatives will likely focus on capacity and substation projects, longer-term non-wire alternative efforts should further refine the criteria under which non-wire alternatives would be considered. The order directs the utilities to include in their forthcoming draft distribution plan responses to the questions that subject matter expert Paul DiMartini provided during the work group sessions when analyzing non-wire alternative options. The Commission expects the future utility distribution planning processes to be informed by options presented by other technologies and solution providers. The next category, benefit cost analysis. The order specifies that this is an important topic to tackle in the near term, but benefit cost analysis criteria is not likely to be resolved before the next round of 2021 distribution plans. The Commission will revisit the staff's recommendation after the 2021 distribution plans are filed and consider other priorities at that time. There remains an expectation that the utilities justify their investments, including consideration and quantification of costs and benefits relative to alternatives. The next category is called alternative regulatory approaches. The order acknowledges staff's suggestion that distribution plans can tie into a performance-based system. These issues will be further explored in the near future MyPowerGrid Incentives Disincentives Stakeholder Work Group. Next, pilot programs. Staff recommendations stemming from the MyPowerGrid Energy Programs and Technology Pilots Work Group should inform the pilots proposed in the utility distribution plans. The Commission further notes that the staff's draft report on energy programs and technology pilots was circulated to stakeholders on July 31st of this year, and the final report is scheduled to be filed on September 30th of this year. The next category is called resilience. The order acknowledges staff's recommendations to define the events that a resilient system would prepare for, but ultimately aligned with DTE Energy's proposed definition and approach to resilience. The order underscores the importance of robust, risk-based resilience evaluations and mitigation strategies as part of distribution planning efforts. Now, the very last category that I'll address is called the next round of distribution plan filings. The order directs DTE Electric, Consumers Energy, Indiana, Michigan to file draft plans for comment by the staff and stakeholders by August 1, 2021, in advance of final plans being filed with the Commission not later than September 30, 2021. These dates supersede the Commission's previous direction of a June 30th, 2021 filing date for final plans. This extended time frame will also allow the utilities to better consider the alignment issues with distribution plans and integrated resource plans. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Pat. Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Pat, for your presentation. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20147.
Commissioner Talberg.
Second.
Prior to the vote, I want to make a few comments on this order. First, I want to thank Pat Hudson and the whole staff that has been involved in the developing the recommendations included in the draft report, the final report, and running what I think most would agree has been a model stakeholder process around distribution planning. And I, as part of that, also want to thank the many stakeholders, technical experts, and others who have been involved. The staff's reports and the steps taken in today's order have benefited greatly from the involvement of such a large and diverse group. And I think the reports and this order lay out important next steps as we continue this transition. The order provides specific guidance for the distribution and maintenance plans that will be filed next year by DTE Electric, Consumers Energy, and Indiana Michigan Power, as well as Pat noted, allowing for stakeholder input on draft plans prior to these plans being finalized. I think we at the Commission continue to see this as an iterative and ongoing process as we work to build the grid of the future and ensure Michigan residents and businesses reap the benefits and avoid any adverse impacts as the energy transition continues. And I think the distribution planning process and the steps in this order represent real milestones as we continue this journey. So again, thank you for your work. Are there any other discussion?
Nope.
We will now move to a vote and a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20147 is approved. Ms. Day.
Alyssa,
I believe you're muted.
Thank you. Item 4B2 is case number U20590 et al., which are dockets opened on the Commission's own motion for the receipt of capacity demonstration filings required by MCL 460.6W. The order before you adopts the findings and recommendations contained in the Commission staff's March 27th, 2020 report and opens a new docket for the receipt of planning year 2024/2025 capacity demonstration filings.
Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chairman. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20590 et al.
Commissioner Talberg.
Second.
Before we vote, I want to recognize our staff for their work on these capacity demonstrations. As our generation mix continues to evolve, ensuring Michigan has the resources necessary continues to be a central priority for this commission, and I appreciate the efforts of all involved. Any other discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20590 et al. Is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4B3 is case number U20633, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to commence a collaborative to discuss issues related to integrated resource plans and distribution plans. The order before you directs the Commission staff to commence a collaborative to coordinate with the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy on the inclusion of public health and environmental justice considerations in future integrated resource planning cases, and to file a report with findings and recommendations in this docket no later than May 27th, 2021.
Thank you. Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chairman. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20633.
Commissioner Talberg.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20633 is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4B4 is case number U20657, which involves a complaint filed by Dale Klein against DTE Electric Company. The order before you dismisses the complaint with prejudice.
Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20657.
Commissioner Talberg.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20657 is approved. Ms. Day?
Item 4B5 is case number U20796 et al., which involve an application by Sunwave USA Holdings, Inc. to become a licensed alternative electric supplier. The order before you approves the license and requires the filing of a renewable energy plan in case number U20843 within 90 days of the date of this order.
Commissioner Phillips.
Chairman, I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20796 et al.
Commissioner Talberg.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20796 et al. Is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4B6 is case number U20849, which involves the application of Consumers Energy Company for the accounting and rate-making approval of depreciation practices for electric and common utility plant. The order before you grants Consumer Energy Company's motion for an extension of time and directs the utility to file its application in this case on or before March 1st, 2021.
Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chairman. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20849.
Commissioner Talberg.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips. Commissioner Phillips.
Oh, there he is.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Excellent. Commissioner Talberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20849 is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4B7 is case number U20852, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to commence a collaborative to consider best practices for a competitive bidding framework. The order before you directs the Commission staff to commence the competitive procurement work group.
Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20852.
Commissioner Talberg.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
I do have comments on this, Mr. Chair.
Please go ahead.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the work of the staff. We didn't have a presentation. We've tried to simplify some of the remote meetings, but they've done a lot of work to prepare for this competitive procurement stakeholder process, and I really look forward to the efforts that will get underway this year. When the Commission launched My Power Grid last year, Chair Dan Scripps indicated that the initiative was aimed to prioritize action over fancy reports. And this is an opportunity to do just that, to prioritize action by updating the Commission's expectations for competitive bidding to benefit ratepayers. This is the second work group under the Integrating Emerging Technologies workstream of My Power Grid, and it's building on the ongoing updates to the Commission's generation interconnection rules. The objective of this competitive procurement work group is to ensure value for ratepayers through transparency, non-discriminatory access, certainty, and fairness in bidding processes. And specifically, we expect to update the bidding framework to reflect the coordination with new energy planning processes, to ensure non-discriminatory treatment of all energy technologies, such as energy storage and hybrid resources, and to reflect lessons learned from Michigan and other states. Our existing competitive bidding framework adopted by the Commission was developed to implement the state's renewable portfolio standard established in the 2008 Energy Law Public Act 295. It's been 12 years since that time. And rather than making ad hoc determinations to update these bidding procedures over time, the Commission prefers to establish new expectations, whether it's in the form of guidance or rules for future bidding, so that regulated utilities, the staff, potential bidders, and stakeholders know in advance the expected parameters. A strong bidding framework should also streamline regulatory approval processes, particularly for new contracts resulting from a conforming bid process. Having this certainty and less risk for both developers and utilities can also bring about lower prices for ratepayers. There is a lot to gain with this effort. This work group is also timely. We're in the process of evaluating the new order issued by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission on the reform of the 1978 federal law, the Public Utilities Regulatory Policies Act, or PURPA, implemented by state commissions. The FERC order includes competitive bidding elements and lays out expected principles related to transparency, definition, evaluation, and oversight. And in the spirit of prioritizing action over fancy reports, the order today directs staff to issue a straw proposal in the near term to focus the topics for subsequent research and work group discussions. And we look forward to engaging with stakeholders on this topic to deliver significant benefits to ratepayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thalberg, for your leadership on this, and excited that you're going to help kick this off. I know it will be stronger for your involvement. With that, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Thalberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20852 is approved. Ms. Day.
Item 4C1 is case number U20608, which involves the amendment of the rules governing the technical standards for gas service. The order before you formally adopts the rules.
Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20608.
Commissioner Thalberg.
I second the motion.
Before we vote on this, I want to thank all of the stakeholders who participated in this process, and specifically want to thank our gas operations and energy security sections staff for their leadership in seeing this process through. These rules include a number of significant elements, including strengthened cybersecurity standards and technological advancements in metering, among other things. This commission has long prioritized the safety of our gas infrastructure, and the rules being finalized today represent a significant step forward in ensuring the safety of that infrastructure. Any other discussion on this? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Thalberg.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20608 is approved. Ms. Day?
Item 4C2 is case number U20642, which involves an application filed by DTE Gas Company for authority to increase its rates for the distribution of natural gas and for other relief. Staff member Ryan LaRue will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. On November 25th, 2019, DTE Gas Company filed an application seeking authority to increase rates, amend its rate schedules, attain approval of certain accounting matters, and modify certain terms and conditions of providing natural gas service. The request included an increase in revenue requirement of $203.8 million with a projected test year beginning October 1, 2020. As justification for the proposed rate increase, DTE Gas presented evidence on the need for natural gas system investments, as well as evidence on decreasing customer consumption. The proceeding drew significant interest from the public, with intervention by the Association of Business Advocating Tariff Equity, Detroit Thermal, the Michigan Department of Attorney General, Citizens Utility Board of Michigan, Michigan Power Limited Partnership, the Residential Customer Group, Retail Energy Supply Association, Verso Corporation, and the Commission staff. All parties stipulated to the binding in of testimony and admission of exhibits without cross-examination at a hearing on May 8, 2020. At a hearing on May 14, 2020, additional testimony was bound into the record. The record on this matter consists of 1,868 pages of transcript, as well as 251 exhibits. Following negotiations between the parties, DTE Gas submitted a non-contested settlement agreement on July 17, 2020 to the docket for consideration by the Commission. The agreement was signed by all parties with the exception of Residential Customer Group, who has subsequently filed a statement of non-objection. The agreement includes numerous adjustments to the company's original filed position, highlighted by a reduction in revenue deficiency to $110 million, or approximately half of the company's initial request. Other key terms of the agreement include an authorized return on equity of 9.9%, 60 basis points below DTE's initial request. DTE Gas also agrees to a capital structure of 52% equity and to provide a plan to achieving a more balanced capital structure in its next general rate case. DTE Gas agrees to a revised amortization schedule of its non-plant Tax Cuts and Jobs Act regulatory liability, accelerating the return of the liability by 5 years from 2031 to 2026. DTE Gas agrees to file a 10-year gas delivery plan in its next general rate case. DTE Gas agrees to fund a demand response pilot program in line with the recommendations of the State Energy Assessment. DTE Gas agrees to continue using the revenue decoupling mechanism approved in U18999 to account for the lost sales and energy waste reduction efforts of the company. DTE Gas agrees to make a $1 million contribution to the Heat and Warmth Fund on behalf of its shareholders. And lastly, DTE Gas agrees to numerous reporting requirements that seek to ensure accountability and transparency of the utility's operations during the upcoming test year. The order before you, if approved, would effectuate the terms of this settlement agreement and subsequent rate changes on October 1, 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you once again, Ryan. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20642.
Commissioner Tallberg?
I second the motion.
I also want to say a few words on this case before we vote. There is a lot on our agenda today. And I just really want to highlight a few of the elements. There are a number of elements, important elements in this settlement, but I want to highlight a few that stand out. First, this continues the needed investment in our gas infrastructure, and I appreciate DTE's continued focus on taking the steps necessary to maintain gas safety. In addition, the settlement puts into action 2 of the key recommendations from our 29 statewide energy assessment. A new demand response pilot program to increase the resilience of our gas distribution when energy supplies or delivery are constrained, and the pledge to include a 10-year gas delivery plan in DTE's next gas rate case to allow for more transparency around costs, safety and risks, resilience, and other factors. Both of these elements and the actions in the settlement represent important progress. I think this settlement represents a positive resolution to the issues in this case and appreciate the work of the parties in coming to agreement. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20642 is approved. Ms. Day?
Item 4C3 is case number U-20839, which involves an application from DTE Gas for ex parte approval to amend its voluntary bio-green gas program and implement a new voluntary renewable gas program pilot. The order before you requires DTE Gas to provide additional information consistent with this order in an updated application.
Commissioner Phillips?
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20839.
Commissioner Tallberg?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
Not at this time, Chairman.
We will then move to a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Tallberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20839 is approved. We have now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. Again, if you would like to make a comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment will then be read aloud to the Commissioners. This feature is available on the right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. As a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to their comments. After taking any comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for the verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment, but please do not include your written comment as this will avoid duplication. I will first call on these names in the order received. After hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we will ask if there are any comments from individuals who are on the phone line but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. Please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting. When it is your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. Otherwise, please keep your phone muted. As a reminder, this public comment period is for Commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you are willing to share, so we have that for our records. And please limit comments to one per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes, so that we have the chance to hear from all who would like to comment. Ms. Cole, are there any comments in the Q&A section?
Chair Scripps, there are no requests to comment in the online Q&A section at this time.
Thank you for that. Is there anybody on the phone who has not been able to use the Q&A feature who would like to comment at this time? If so, please unmute yourself by pressing *6. Again, anybody who would like to address the Commission can do so at this time. You can unmute your phone by pressing *6. Not hearing any comments, we'll now close the public comment portion of the meeting. I have a few announcements before we conclude. First, as noted, we today approved 3 orders connected to the My Power Grid initiative, including finalizing the distribution planning process and initiating stakeholder processes on competitive bidding and advanced planning. I also want to highlight the work that staff has done in producing a series of reports, 4 of which were published on July 31st. The demand response final report was published and includes a number of recommendations that stem from the 2019 statewide energy assessment and other opportunities to improve the performance of demand response in the state. There was also a draft report on energy programs and technology pilots that was published July 31st. We are now taking input on the recommendations and findings, and the final report for energy programs and technology pilots will be published on September 30th. There were also reports and draft rule sets that include updates to the Commission rules on both technical standards and service quality rules. Those were also published July 31st. We're accepting comment and additional guidance on the draft rule sets. The final report in that will be published on December 15th, and we will at that time initiate formal rulemaking in updating our technical standards and service quality rules. There are a broad range of staff from across the Commission who have been actively involved in these work group proceedings, and I just want to highlight and thank specifically the work group leads, Joy Wong, Eric Hanser, Katie Smith, Taylor Becker, Cheryl Kirkland, and Brian Sheldon, who have really gone above and beyond in many cases to help advance the discussions and the stakeholder processes and ultimately the recommendations that are being teed up for action. As Commissioner Tallberg noted, the focus of My Power Grid is on action, and we will continue to look for opportunities to effectuate the recommendations and findings of these processes through formal rulemaking, guidance, commissioner orders, and other avenues. There's a lot more work to be done, but I want to thank everyone involved, stakeholders, staff, and the full range of participants for their work in My Power Grid so far. Second, following the violent deaths this summer of George Floyd, Rayshard Brooks, Breonna Taylor, and too many others, and the broader societal dialogue around racial injustice, the Commission recently launched a diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative that involves staff leadership from each of our 8 divisions. I see this as core to our work as energy and telecommunications regulators, given the rich diversity of the state of Michigan and the pervasive nature of systemic racism. I want to thank in particular Shatina Jones, who is chairing this initiative, and Al Freeman, who is serving as co-chair, as well as all of the staff who are involved. As an initial starting point, we met with leadership from our two largest utilities, DTE Energy and Consumers Energy, to learn about their efforts. And our next commission public meeting will feature presentations from these two utilities on their work around diversity, equity, and inclusion. The third update and final update is that as we continue to deal with the myriad ways in which COVID-19 impacts our communities, I want to remind everyone that assistance is available and that we continue to have unspent funds under the Michigan Energy Assistance Program, or MEAP. If you're struggling to pay your bills, please reach out to your energy or telecommunications provider to see what options are available. Many have flexible payment options, and they can also connect you with other assistance programs. We also have information available on our website, michigan.gov/MPSC, as well as on the state's coronavirus website, michigan.gov/coronavirus, or you can call 211 to see what assistance programs are available. And then finally, I guess as a note of sort of personal privilege, I want to thank both Commissioner Phillips and Commissioner Talberg as we sort of make this transition in leadership. I get to, and this is a remarkable thing really, take on the chair position at a point of real strength for the commission. And I think that is a testament to the leadership of, I think I'll always call you Chairman Talberg, and the contributions of a range of people, including former commissioners Rachel Eubanks, Norm Sari, and others, and the partnership and contributions of Commissioner Phillips, and of course the professionalism and dedication of our staff. Our goal is to be a best-in-class public service commission. I think that Chairman Talberg has positioned us as such, and to be able to take the baton and the honor of leading this fine organization at this point and from a position of real strength is truly an honor. So thank you. Are there other comments that either of you would like to make?
I just have some brief comments, and thank you, Chairman, for those remarks, and congratulations for a successful first commission meeting with your leadership. I just want to, again, to your comments, thank those who have been helping to lead and to guide our internal diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. I've just been really astounded and proud by the amount of initial commitment and momentum that we have in regards to the hard work that must be done in order to address systemic racism, not only within the industries that we regulate, but also within our own organization as well. So as some of you may have heard last night, this quote, but there is no vaccine for racism. You have to do the work. And I'm very proud to say that at the commission, we are now doing that hard work. So thank you to the staff and to the leadership of the commission for continuing to move forward this effort.
Very good. Well, with that, that concludes today's meeting. The next regular commission meeting is scheduled for September 2nd, 2020. However, the commission is planning to issue a notice which reschedules that meeting to Thursday, September 10th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. and that formal notification will follow. Is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Phillips?
I move to adjourn today's meeting on August 20th, 2020.
Commissioner Talberg?
I second the motion to adjourn the meeting.
We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Talberg?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.